In Canada, the partial eclipse will begin around 2 p.m. EDT when it enters the country's border in southeastern Ontario. Those located on the northeast Canadian portion of the path can expect the sun's light to begin dimming at approximately 4 p.m. EDT. There are 3 major types of solar eclipse. A total solar eclipse like that on April 8th occurs when the moon is relatively close to Earth and blocks the entire disk of the sun. On April 8, 2024, the moon will be in its new moon phase, and it will look relatively large, meaning it is capable of covering 100% of the sun's disk as viewed from the narrow path of totality. The fraction of the diameter of the sun covered by the moon is known as the magnitude of a solar eclipse. On April 8, 2024, this value will be 1.0566, according to eclipsewise.com, slightly more than total coverage. In the initial stage of the eclipse, the moon will begin to pass in front of the sun, kickstarting a partial solar eclipse. During this phase, the darkened lunar disk of the moon will make the sun appear as if a bite has been taken out of its illuminated face. This bite will get bigger and bigger as the totality approaches. During the first stage of the total solar eclipse, some onlookers will be able to see rapidly moving, long, dark bands called shadow bands on the sides of buildings or the ground. Baily's beads, caused by light streaming through the valleys on the horizon of the moon, may also be visible at the moon's edges during this initial stage. These phenomena repeat during the second partial eclipse that occurs after totality. First contact will last for between 70 and 80 minutes, and its conclusion will be marked by a single bright spot, or diamond ring, appearing at the edge of the moon. This marks the second contact stage and heralds the oncoming totality. Stage 3 and the midpoint of the total solar eclipse is the totality. At this point, the moon completely covers the solar disk. During the totality of the outer atmosphere of the sun, the corona may become visible as white streamers at the edge of the moon. This region is usually washed out by bright light from the solar surface, the photosphere. The inner atmosphere of the sun, the chromosphere, may be visible as a wispy aura around the edge of the moon. The totality may also make stars and planets visible in the darkened sky that are usually not visible from America during daylight hours. The duration of the totality depends on the path from which the eclipse is viewed. In Mexico, totality will last for 40 minutes and 43 seconds. Skywatchers in the U.S. will collectively experience totality for 67 minutes and 58 seconds. Onlookers in Canada will experience the totality of the solar eclipse for 34 minutes and 4 seconds. The fourth stage of the total solar eclipse, third contact, will see the moon start to move away from the disk of the sun, thus ending the totality and starting the second partial eclipse period. Brightening appears on the opposite side of the moon as it did during the second contact period. The fifth and final stage of the total solar eclipse. The moon moves away from the disk of the sun, meaning that at fourth contact, the moon is no longer even partially eclipsing the sun. At this point, 2024's total solar eclipse will be over. Fun facets we learned by experience of the eclipse from beginning to end. Once the moon started to cover the sun, the atmosphere changed. It became cooler, more still, very eerie. Without the black glasses, it looked as though the sun was shining bright, but when you had the glasses on, you could see the ring of the sun so clearly, and you could see how little of the sun was showing. It was the most iconic moment of our lives, getting the opportunity to see such wonders. It left you feeling very blessed and very small. Reminds us of this wonderful planet we live on. It lasted about 21 hours in totality. We had a very clear view of open skies. We were so lucky to be able to see this from our backyard. A solar eclipse occurs during the new moon phase, when the moon passes between Earth and the sun, casting a shadow on Earth and totally or partially blocking our view of the sun. While an average of 2 solar eclipses happen every year, a particular spot on Earth is only in the path of totality every 375 years on average. We think everyone should see at least one in their life because they're just so spectacular. They are emotion-evoking natural events. One fun part of experiencing an eclipse can be watching the people around you. They may yell, they scream, they cry, they hug each other, and that's because it's such an amazingly beautiful event. Here are 10 surprising facts about the science behind the phenomenon. What makes 2024's solar eclipse unique, and what to expect? The total eclipse starts in the Pacific Ocean and ends in the Atlantic. The darker, inner shadow the moon casts is called the umbra, in which you can see a rarer total eclipse. The outer, lighter second shadow is called the penumbra, under which you will see a partial eclipse visible in more locations. The total eclipse starts at 12:39 p.m. Eastern Time, a bit more than 620 miles south of the Republic of Kiribati in the Pacific Ocean, according to astronomy. The umbra remains in contact with Earth's surface for 3 hours and 16 minutes until 3:55 p.m. when it ends in the Atlantic Ocean, roughly 340 miles southwest of Ireland. Mexico will see the longest totality during the eclipse. The longest totality will extend for 4 minutes and 28 seconds on a 350-mile-long swath near the center line of the eclipse, including west of Torreon, Mexico, according to NASA. A part of the sun which is typically hidden will reveal itself. Solar eclipses allow for a glimpse of the sun's corona, the outermost atmosphere of the star that is normally not visible to humans because of the sun's brightness. The corona consists of wispy, white streamers of plasma-charged gas that radiate from the sun. The corona is much hotter than the sun's surface, about 1 million degrees Celsius, 1.8 million degrees Fahrenheit, compared to 5,500 degrees Celsius, 9,940 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun will be near its more dramatic solar maximum during the 2024 eclipse. The sun will be near solar maximum. This is the most active phase of a roughly 11-year solar cycle, which might lead to more prominent and evident sun activity. We're in a very active state of the sun, which makes eclipses more exciting and means there is more to look forward to during the total phase of the eclipse. People should look for an extended, active corona with more spikes and maybe some curls in it, keeping an eye out for prominences, pink explosions of plasma that leap off the sun's surface and are pulled back by the sun's magnetic field, and streamers coming off the sun. Streamers are a beautiful, beautiful shade of pink, and silhouetted against the black new moon that's passing across the disk of the sun. It makes them stand out very well. So it's really just a beautiful sight to look up at the totally eclipsed sun. 2 planets and maybe a comet could also be spotted. Venus will be visible 15 degrees west-southwest of the sun 10 minutes before totality, according to astronomy. Jupiter will also appear 30 degrees to the east-northeast of the sun during totality, or perhaps a few minutes before. Venus is expected to shine more than 5 times as bright as Jupiter. Another celestial object that may be visible is Comet 1-P Pons Brooks, about 6 degrees to the right of Jupiter. The comet, with its distinctive circular cloud of gas and a long tail, has been really putting on a great show in the sky ahead of the eclipse. The temperature will drop. When the sun is blocked out, the temperature drops noticeably. During the last total solar eclipse in the U.S. in 2017, the National Weather Service recorded that temperature dropped as much as 10 degrees Fahrenheit. In Carbondale, Ill, for example, the temperature dropped from a peak of 90 degrees Fahrenheit just before totality to 84 degrees during totality. On April 8, 2024, a total solar eclipse will cross North America, passing over Mexico, the United States, and Canada. We hope you got to see it and experience it as well. We are so happy we got to see it live. The next total solar eclipse to cross North America is predicted to occur on August 23, 2044. The 2044 eclipse will start in Greenland on August 23, 2044, and will continue its path through Canada. The 2044 total solar eclipse will be short, mostly appearing in Canada. It will be visible from 3 states in the U.S., Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Don't forget to press subscribe button if you are enjoying this video. If you love all this information, Please don't forget to leave us a feedback, any comment. We know this had nothing to do with puppies, but we think because this was the puppy's first solar eclipse, we had to document it. We did the best we could because we were trying to also live in the moment and enjoy the moment. We did promise that we were going to try to document as much as we can, and so we did try very hard. We hope you guys appreciate it. We love each and every one of you.